the WWII lazy garden that grew food without any work. Why did they stop teaching this? During World War II, food wasn't just scarce, it was strategic. With supply lines bombed, fuel rationed, and millions of men sent to fight, governments needed a way for ordinary families to grow food fast, cheaply, and with almost no labor. Out of this pressure emerged one of the most quietly revolutionary systems in agricultural history, what soldiers and civilians nicknamed the lazy garden. It wasn't lazy because it was ineffective, it was lazy because it worked without constant digging, watering, or fertilizing. Something that sounds honestly, suspiciously modern, yet was perfected over 80 years ago. So what exactly was this forgotten WWII garden, and why, if it worked so well, did it vanish from classrooms and public teaching? What was the WWII lazy garden? The lazy garden was, honestly, a low-disturbance, mulch-heavy, self-feeding garden system that was used across Britain, parts of Europe, and even in United States victory gardens. Instead of all that back-breaking soil turning and endless weeding, this method relied on layering organic material directly on the soil and just letting nature do the heavy lifting. At its core, the system followed three radical principles, radical for its time at least. First, no digging or plowing. Second, permanent soil cover. And third, feeding the soil, not the plant. Gardeners laid down layers of straw leaves, grass clippings, kitchen scraps, and compost right on top of the existing soil. Seeds and seedlings were planted directly into small openings. Then, earthworms, microbes, and moisture did the rest. So, the result? Vegetables grew aggressively, weeds really struggled to survive, and the soil improved every single season, with less work each year. Why did it work so well during the war? World War II demanded efficiency. The lazy garden thrived because it solved multiple wartime problems all at once. First, it saved labor. Many gardens were tended by women, children, and the elderly. A system that eliminated digging and daily watering wasn't just a luxury, it was a necessity. Second, it conserved water. Mulch reduced evaporation dramatically. Even during dry spells, soil underneath remained cool and moist. Third, it produced food fast. Mulched soil warms earlier in spring, giving crops a head start. Decomposing organic matter released nutrients slowly, meaning plants were constantly fed without chemical fertilizer. Fourth, it improved poor soil. Bombed cities, compacted ground, and depleted farmland all benefited. Over time, even lifeless dirt turned dark, crumbly, and alive. In short, the lazy garden was resilient, forgiving, and honestly, shockingly productive, exactly what wartime survival required. The science they didn't fully understand, but used anyway. Back then, gardeners didn't talk about soil microbiomes or carbon sequestration, but they were actually harnessing them all along. By leaving soil undisturbed, fungal networks stayed intact, beneficial bacteria flourished, and earthworm populations just exploded. The mulch layer acted like armor, protecting soil from erosion, temperature swings, and nutrient loss. Modern studies now confirm what World War II gardeners learned by experience. Disturbed soil is weaker soil. Ironically, what we now call regenerative or no-till farming was once standard survival knowledge. So why did they stop teaching this? Here's where things get uncomfortable. After World War II, agriculture changed fast. Chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and mechanized farming promised, higher yields with less land. Governments and corporations really pushed industrial agriculture as the future. Schools even shifted their focus to systems that relied on tractors, synthetic inputs, and deep plowing. The lazy garden just didn't fit this new narrative. It didn't require buying anything, and honestly, it didn't scale well for monoculture, but most importantly, it made people independent. Slowly and quietly, it disappeared from textbooks. By the 1960s, digging and chemical feeding were taught as proper gardening, while mulch-based systems were dismissed as old-fashioned or lazy, in the bad sense. Why does it matter more than ever today? Fast forward to now. We're facing water shortages, rising food prices, soil depletion, increasing fertilizer costs, and, yeah, climate instability. Suddenly, the lazy garden doesn't look lazy at all. It looks, honestly, pretty brilliant. Modern gardeners who are rediscovering this method report, well, 70 to 90% less weeding, dramatically lower water use, healthier and more resilient plants, and better harvests over time. It's a system that really rewards patience instead of effort, and works with nature instead of against it. The real reason this knowledge faded, the lazy garden wasn't lost because it failed. Nope, it was lost because it didn't need an industry to support it. No machines, no chemicals, no constant purchases, just waste turned into food, and honestly, that might be the most dangerous idea of all.